Hello doll friends, this is Michael Canadas with the Grovian Doll Museum and the Carmel Doll Shop. We are back with more China. I thought we were done, but I guess we're not. So today's program is known as Judy and the Bonnet Heads, which would be a great name for a rock band. So let me explain to you, I left some really important information out of this China part of our Kestner King of Dollmakers. And that's why I have Judy here today. So we're going to take a look at Judy. And I will tell you, long ago when I was quite a bit younger, I had the opportunity to go to Germany right after the unification of Germany, the East and the West. And of course, pretty much all of the dolls were made in the East. And in those days, it was like the great gold rush. You could literally kick the dirt and you would find a doll. So this is Judy, and those of you who follow the Carmel Doll Shop, you would know who Judy is because she is our model for our hat department. And she models other things, sometimes wigs. But I got Judy in Walterhausen, where the Kestner factory was. Literally just kicked the dirt, and there she was. And you can see that she was a reject because of this imperfection in the shoulder plate. So you can see now why I'm including Judy in this program is I left out a really, really important part of China manufacturing. Actually, I think there are a lot of collectors that think China dolls are lesser because a lot of them have very simplistic painting and styles and characterizations. But actually, to make a China head is very, very difficult because the painting is done on a glaze. So if you look at this, this is the next step to make the doll. This is fully glazed, so it's been fired with the glaze on it. The next step would be to paint it. And you paint it on the glaze. Now that is like basically painting on glass. Now if you've been lucky enough to learn to do reverse painting or painting lampshades or something like that, that's basically what it is. So it's a very, very difficult thing to do. So you'd have to be highly skilled to paint a China head. Another thing that's very important to realize is that each company, no matter what company it was, had to come up with their clay, the clay that is used to make, or slip if you like. They had to do that themselves. There was no supplier to call and say, send me 10 pallets of clay. So each company has a unique composition of clay. They also have a unique formula for the China paints. So those were all made in-house. Okay, so yesterday we talked about name Chinas. And I forgot to tell you the covered wagons. So I brought out these two little treasures in our collection, which are Mr. and Mrs. Tom Thumb. And I don't want to remove her veil, but she would be what we would call a covered wagon. And then Mr. Tom Thumb would be a youthful boy who put these together in the 1860s. You know, they're both slightly childlike, but the thumbs were considered quite childlike. So I just wanted to share those because they're wonderful pieces. And the Kestner company really literally had to do millions of dollhouse dolls because they had a full line of dollhouse furniture. Obviously, you want to get as much of the market as you can. But the reason that we came back today to do this is we had some requests to talk about the bonnet head dolls. So Judy and the bonnet heads. So here they are. So this is a bonnet head that we would call today a frozen Charlotte. When they were originally made, they were called bathing dolls, Badenkinder. but we know it today as collectors as Frozen Charlottes. The story of Frozen Charlotte is a little fable about vanity, and she didn't have anything to wear and she went out and froze to death. Long, long ago, before any of us were even alive, they were coined as Frozen Charlottes. It's not going to change. It's not going to change any more than for at least 200 years, the Mona Lisa was known as La Gioconda. It's not going to go back to La Gioconda no matter what we do. She's Mona Lisa, and we have Nat King Cole to thank for that. But back to these, what I think is very interesting about these little treasures is particularly the squeaker. The Kestner company, again, is recycling molds because they had a line of squeak toys that had little dolls that were sitting in chairs, and they're very hard to get, but it's, again, the same mold. These are very hard to come by because of the very concept of movement, the rotting of the center part thrown out. They're very hard to get. These you can find, but you know, they're actually quite rare, and they're a lot of fun to collect. You know, for me, they're kind of a little, sometimes when you're on a doll diet and you just want a little snack, they make a nice little purchase. And I also like that I have them on stands here, but when we have them displayed in cases, I can just put museum wax under their feet and they hold up. Now, another thing, a lot of times we forget that the doll makers were in business to make a profit. So if you're going to pour these all day and you end up with a quarter of a gallon of slip left, slip which is the porcelain, you're not going to throw that out. So you've got all these molds with all these little goodies to fill, to keep them, to keep you at a profitable place. Then I have another piece that I want to show you again. This may actually be a Kestner copy, but the Kestner company did this as a paper mache. And actually I showed you yesterday something very similar. But this one might be a copy of their work. And what I mean by that is, in the 19th century, everybody was copying everybody. There's a thing that still exists today, and that is called a market trend. If you notice, no matter what's going on, whether it's contemporary fashion dolls or artist dolls, there's a market trend. So once someone starts to do something, like for instance, we reproduced a roamer, and it's taken about 2 years for people to catch up, and now suddenly there's other people that are producing the roamer. That's okay, it's just called a market trend. Anyways, I think that we're going to move on from the Chinas because we've got a whole lot to talk about with the Kestner company. But one thing I want to point out is the China paint colors went from the China into the bisque. So you go look in your collection, compare your German baby dolls and your German girl dolls, and you start to look at the colors of the China paint, and you're going to see that the formulas were used throughout. Anyways, doll friends, we'll see you later. If you are not following us on Facebook, please do. It's Grovian Doll Museum, and also follow us on YouTube. Like, comment, share. Bye-bye, doll friends.